Busy professionals need rules, not inspiration. Most people believe they need more inspiration to change their financial situation, more motivation, more energy, more drive. But if that were true, most professionals would already have consistent extra income. Because let's be honest, you've been motivated before. You've had moments where you told yourself, this time I am serious. You watched the videos, you made the plan, you even started, and then life happened. Work got busy, energy dropped. The plan slowly disappeared. Not because you're lazy, but because inspiration is unreliable. And I realized this in a very simple way. I noticed something interesting about how people try to wake up early. Not the idea of waking up early, but how they actually do it. Most people say, I'll start waking up at 5 a.m. And for the first few days, they are motivated. Alarm rings, they jump out of bed. Day 2, still strong. Day 3, a bit slower. By day 5, they hit snooze. And eventually, they stop completely. Not because waking up early doesn't work, but because they relied on motivation. Now compare that with someone else. They set a rule. Alarm rings. They stand up immediately. No negotiation. No second option. No, just 5 more minutes. Same action every day. And over time, it becomes automatic. That's when it clicked for me. The difference isn't intention, it's rules. Now bring that back to extra income. Most people approach it like the first example. I'll study, when I feel motivated. I'll work on it when I have time. I'll focus when I have the energy. But busy people don't have consistent inspiration. They have limited time and limited mental energy. So if your strategy depends on how you feel, it will eventually fail. Not because the opportunity doesn't work, but because the structure doesn't support your reality. Here's what actually works: rules, a defined time, a defined process, a defined system. Because every time you have to decide what to do, you lose energy. And working professionals are already making decisions all day: meetings, emails, deadlines, problem solving. By the time evening arrives, your brain is tired. And tired brains don't build systems, they avoid effort, they delay action, they look for easier options. That's why inspiration feels powerful, but it doesn't last. Because inspiration requires energy, rules don't. Rules operate even when your energy is low. And this is exactly why high performing professionals rely on structure. Think about athletes. They don't train based on inspiration, they follow schedules. Think about successful creators, YouTubers and all that. They don't post because they feel like it, they follow systems. Because systems remove emotions. And when emotion is removed, consistency becomes possible. This is exactly the foundation of the 3C trader method: not motivation, not hype, structure. Three stabilizers: clarity, control, consistency. Clarity means you don't have different options. You have one defined system, one process, one path. So when it's time to execute, there's no confusion. Control means your decisions are predefined. Yes. When to act, when not to act, how much time you use, how much risk exists. So instead of reacting emotionally, you follow rules, and consistency becomes a natural result of the first two. Because when the path is clear and decisions are controlled, execution becomes easier. And this is a shift most people miss. They try to build consistency through motivation instead of building it through rules. But motivation fades, rules remain. Now, here's something important: rules are not restrictive, they are freeing. Yes, they are. Because they remove uncertainty. You don't have to think every day. You don't have to negotiate with yourself. Neither do you have to rely on willpower. You simply follow the structure. And over time, that structure compounds. Let me simplify it. One person says, I'll do it when I have time. Another says, every weekday, 8:30 p.m., 30 minutes, same goal, different outcome. Because one relies on inspiration, the other relies on rules. And rules always outlast motivation. So if you've ever felt like, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it consistently, this might be the missing piece. Not more information, not more effort, better structure. Because busy people don't need more inspiration, they need fewer decisions, clear rules, and a system that works even when they are tired. That's the real advantage. Not working harder, not doing more, but removing friction so consistency becomes automatic. And when consistency becomes automatic, hear this, progress becomes predictable. That's the shift from inspiration to structure, from effort to systems. And once that shift happens, even a simple routine can outperform inconsistent bursts of motivation every single time.